gingerbread houses. We all in my family go out to the store and we decorate our own houses, and whoever wins, you know, you get a prize or you get money, but it's just fun doing it with my family.
Being with my family and my girlfriend, and we're on the couch watching the television, and we have our favorite Christmas movie on, which by the way is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Every Christmas Eve, we always watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And it's mostly because at that point, my mother's cooking Christmas Eve dinner, and the family's here, and AMC's always playing it. So we're always watching it, because we just need to laugh at that point. Because at that point, we're so stressed out, we're just like, we just want to laugh at something stupid.
I think it has to be the food. Although growing up in UK, TV is a big deal for the British Christmas. They clear the schedules for 2 weeks, and it's nothing but Christmas programming, and all the big new well, it used to be all the big new movies get shown on TV for the first time, but that's no longer true. But that's part of it.
It's pretty simple, I would say. It's not very extravagant, I would say, or it's as extravagant as it is for other people. But just honestly, just putting up the tree.
Ooh, well, this is a very hard question to answer, because I mean, what isn't? I mean, the ham's delicious, the Brussels sprouts are delicious. However, I'd have to say that my favorite is the green bean casserole. I love it. It's sweet. It's cooked just perfectly.
Mac and cheese for sure.
Anything like in it, like maybe like bacon, or just
no, just straight mac and cheese, and it's got to be homemade. You can't buy it from the store. You can't get it out of a box.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, yeah, turkey, ham sometimes, or actually most often we actually do a prime rib for Christmas instead, which actually I would, now that it's coming to mind, actually say that's my favorite.
I eat the shrimp, I eat the chicken, which is pretzel chicken. Thank you, Rachel Ray, for giving us that fabulous recipe years ago.
It would be a trifle, particular one that I make with orange and like orange liqueur. It's very good.
It didn't used to be, but I would say that there's a family member of mine, she knows who she is if she's watching this, who makes deviled eggs every year during the holiday season, both around Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I don't know what she puts into them, but they're addicting.
Ooh, that is a tough one. Probably my Louis Vuitton. I got my first Louis when I was maybe like 15, so I became a girl's girl after that.
I used to always ask for records because I was crazy about music, so I think I got albums and singles a lot at Christmas.
What's the one album that you remember sticking out at you from Christmas?
Well, this will date me. That's embarrassing. I desperately wanted ABBA's Arrival, which had just come out before Christmas, 1976.
My parents got me an iPhone. It's not this specific phone, because this is, of course, updated, but I got an iPhone 5C, the coral color. And I loved it. And when I walked out of my room in that morning, my parents, they already had the phone activated. So my dad was calling it from his phone, and I just could hear it ringing. And they kept telling me to find it. They're like, find out where the ringing is. So I kept looking until I picked up the box, and I shook and I heard it. And then I opened it, and it was the phone, and then there's my mother recording, and I'm just like in shock that I got a phone.
My parents had gotten me a camcorder. And it was my first ever really anything similar to like a camera of any kind. And I think probably for at least a good few weeks around the house, I had that on me at all times.
My great uncle, he was so excited from watching that game, and he was so intrigued by it. He bought us all tickets to the next Niners-Seahawks game, but that game actually happened to be 2019, Week 17, the Niners at the Seahawks. The winner would win the NFC West, and on top of that, it was Marshawn Lynch's final home game as a Seahawk.
Well, I think it was when I had my own children. I mean, it was seeing their excitement and all the stuff that, you know, how Christmas meant for them. I think that was very special. And in fact, the first year I was in the US, I went home at Christmas to see my son and took all of these Christmas gifts that you couldn't get in the UK, so he got sort of an Americanized Christmas, and that was really exciting for him.
Oh, I think it was 2021, and for some reason I had never actually watched Die Hard until then, and my family was watching it. And then at the end, my dad takes out a Nerf gun, and then we have a half an hour of just shooting each other with Nerf guns, having a great time. It was completely out of the ordinary. I would have never expected it to happen, but there we were, shooting each other after a Christmas movie.
It wasn't on Christmas Day itself, but I would say my favorite Christmas memory, I was back in I believe it was the 3rd grade I was in. My family, my great aunt had got us a limo, and it was myself and I think like 15 other of my family members. We all got into one limo and we just rode around Yakima looking at Christmas lights.
I was outside, and everybody else I think was inside at the time, and I was letting my dogs go outside to play, and they were puppies around this time, so this was the first time they'd ever seen snow. And they were just jumping around, running around the yard trying to catch it, just, you know, looking around like wondering what is the substance that is covering the ground that I'm stepping in. And I don't know why, but it might have just been the time of day, but you know how when there's a lot of snow on the ground, everything just gets quiet? It was almost like a perfect moment of that combined with that moment.
Any specific activities that you like?
Football.
Football?
Football.
How much snow? At least 2 feet?
No, it's about as high as you can get.
Was it tough to move around playing football?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of like a tradition, so you kind of just bundle up and you get out there. My grandmother, for sure. She's like the matriarch. She's like the glue that holds my family together.
I've had great memories with pretty much all my family members, and I'll throw in my girlfriend as well, even though we've only spent one Christmas together, but that one Christmas that we spent was a lot of fun together.
My Irish grandmother used to come occasionally for Christmas when she was alive, but that was not every year. So yes, the year she came, that was very, very special, because we rarely saw her. She lived in Dublin, and so she would come maybe every 3rd Christmas or something like that.
I really like to see my Aunt Patty and my Uncle Bob. They're my godparents, and I don't get to see them a lot because they live in Colorado, but I usually see them during the holiday season. They have such an interesting life. They've spent time all over the world. They lived for about 20 years in Alaska, where they literally built their own cabin, and they just have some of the greatest stories, and they're just really, really nice people to be around.
It probably would have to be my dad.
Why?
I would just say that, you know, this time of year has always kind of brought joy to him, and has brought, you know, it's a very communal time of year, kind of bringing family and loved ones together for these specific kind of holidays. And, you know, unfortunately it seems like it's moments that we don't really get too terribly often, or moments that can get overlooked in normal life.
I can't say a specific family member because this year's going to be the first year without my uncle, and the first year I'm not going to be with my family. So it's going to be a little rough. But I like being able to be with my family.